I'm Vanessa, and today I'm going to teach you a breathing exercise, daily stretches, and meditation practice. First off, if you're not comfortable sitting on the floor, you can always use some props to help you out. You can use a block or a towel, a blanket. You can just plop it down here, sit on top of it, or you can even roll it. Use a yoga mat to kind of find the height where you feel comfortable sitting on the floor. First thing we're going to do is our breathing exercise. This breathing exercise is going to help you if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like all your thoughts, your ideas are not coming together for a project. It's great to just pause, try out this breathing exercise, come back to it with some new energy. So when you're sitting on the ground, I want you to start to be more mindful of which leg you naturally put on top. Usually we come into these patterns that we repeat over and over without realizing we may be favoring one side over the other. So when you naturally sit down cross-legged, just flip which leg you have on top. And it might feel a little different, and we want to balance our right side and our left side out. We don't want to have one hip tighter than the other. So you're going to come to your comfortable seat, sit up nice and tall, close your eyes, and then just start to check in with your body. See if your shoulders are way up by your ears. You're going to pull them up by the ears and then round it down and back. Shining the heart forward and just pausing before you get into your breathing exercise. This is an alternate nostril breathing exercise. So we're going to bring it in one nostril at a time and exhale out the other. So you can go ahead and open your eyes. You can do a fancy position that they do in yoga with your hands, or you can just keep it super simple, which I'm going to teach today. So you're going to plug one nostril, inhale in, pause, plug the other nostril, exhale out. And you're just going to keep repeating that. The best thing to do when you're starting into these breathing exercises or meditation practices is, instead of focusing on counting like how many rounds you're doing, or being like, okay, I did this for 2 minutes and watching a clock, just set a timer. So try it out, setting a timer for 2 minutes and trying the alternate nostril breathing exercise, which always helps give me more energy and connect all my thoughts and ideas so I can be more efficient when I sit down at my computer and work on all the projects I want to tackle. Next, we're going to stretch. So you can use that breathing exercise to help warm the body up to begin stretching, or you can just use the breathing exercise anytime you want. Even if you don't want to go from your desk chair to sitting down on the ground, do it at your desk chair. Do it in the shower to start your day. Probably wouldn't recommend it while you're driving because you want to be able to use your hands, but anywhere else you can apply that breathing exercise. For the stretching, you want to be warmed up a little bit. You don't want to be like rolling out of bed and stiff and cold and start trying to stretch because your muscles aren't going to be happy with you. So if you like to run, do a spin bike, anything like that, that's awesome. Or just put on a song and dance. Move your body a little bit. You could do some dynamic movements to get going, or I'm going to teach you a sun salutation, okay? So you do want to make sure whatever surface you are on is not going to move on you. So you can use a yoga mat or carpet, works for the stretches, but not necessarily for the sun salutation because I don't want anyone to slip and fall. So yoga mats are definitely awesome, and the awesome thing about it too is if you have a yoga mat sitting out where you see it, it's kind of calling you in to remember to stretch. So we are going to stand up the top of your mat. You're gonna either have your feet together or your feet about hip distance. You can start with your hands at your heart. You're gonna inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees just slightly as you fold forward. In the first couple ones, you just want to go nice and slow. Inhale, flat back. This is when you could use the block, put your hands on it. You can either bring your hands up to your shins, listen to your hamstrings, they'll tell you how far you can go. Exhale, fold forward. You're going to step back with one foot, step back with the other into our plank pose. Here you can always drop the knees if you'd like to, or stay up. Elbows are going to shoot straight back into your chaturanga. Pause here. Inhale with baby cobra. Listen to your lower back. Exhale back down. Curl the knees, tuck the toes under. You're going to push back to down dog. Here it feels really good to pump the ankles out. So you're gonna bend one knee, drop the opposite heel down. And then just try and drop both heels down. You're gonna look forward, step the right foot up, step the left foot up, pause in your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, inhale all the way back up. So we're gonna try one more, go ahead and drop the hands down. And you can always wiggle around, bend the knees, start to kind of do some hip circles, check in with all your joints. This is the great thing about yoga is you are connecting with your whole entire body, where you might be tight and what your body might need. So let's try one more sun salutation together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Slow, bend the knees as needed. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Step back into your plank. Pause, connect with your core. Try and exhale, draw that navel towards the spine. Elbows go straight back. Chaturanga. Inhale, you can lift up as high as your back feels comfortable with it into your cobra. Exhale, down. Curl the toes under. Push back. Down, dog. This is a great place to connect with your breath. Inhale. Let the abdomen rise. Exhale. Draw the navel in towards the spine. We're going to look forward. Step with the left foot. Step with the right foot. Fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Bring your hands to your heart. Close your eyes. And just check in with your body. See where you might be feeling tight. And then that's going to guide where you're going to stretch. My goal with teaching yoga is that I always give lots of options so that then you can personalize it to you. So it might take a couple times watching this video and following along, but in the end, you know your body best and what it needs. So pick those stretches that you're going to resonate more with as we go through this. So we're going to start with our hamstrings. Our hamstrings have been warmed up from our sun salutation. The key to this is you want to make sure that you feel comfortable sitting on the floor to start with. So if you don't, like if this is hard right here for you to sit, just put this under you and sit on top of it, because then naturally it's going to lift your hips a bit, so then you can lean forward into the hamstring. So wherever you are in your comfortable seats, you're going to put one leg out to the side, your other leg's going to come in. Before we lean forward to stretch our hamstring, we're going to turn our upper body to our leg. So you're going to take opposite hand to opposite above the knee. You're going to pull in the joint and just twist a little bit. Sit up nice and tall. And then we're going to slowly walk down towards our foot. It is completely fine if you cannot grab your foot. That is not what yoga is about. You can be up here, keep the back nice and flat, and then breathe with it. So exhale down, inhale back up. Exhale down, inhale back up. You can flow this a couple times. In yoga, we breathe in and out the nose, but it's completely fine if it feels more relaxing to you to exhale out the mouth. This is your practice, and you want to personalize it to you and your body. Once you've warmed up that hamstring a little bit, you can just drop and hold. You can let the back round. You can reach down for the foot, drop the head. And you're slowly going to come back up. And we're going to stay on this same leg. So our side body works really hard for us throughout the day. And a lot of times we forget to stretch sides. We're just stretching forward and back. So we want to take our same hand as the same leg, reach out to the side, so we're twisting our body kind of away from this straight leg. Lift the arm up towards the sky. And you're going to flow that arm. The inhale up. You can lift all the way up with it if you want, or stay down. Exhale, bend. Next one, you're going to drop it down and hold. So here, this is more a yin restorative yoga. You're not going to break a sweat and be challenging your core or anything power yoga like that. A lot of times though, we'll skip out on the stretching part. Say you're a runner and you love running, but you only have 45 minutes, so you maximize that run for 45 minutes. That stretching at the end is actually what helps your body prepare to be stronger your next run. So we're going to come back up and we're going to switch sides. So it seems like a really, really long time, but we actually want to hold a stretch for 2 to 3 minutes, which we're not doing right now. We'd be here for a long time, but if you can do this on your own, the longer you can hold it, that is great. Another tip is when you're sitting up and you feel like you're kind of fighting sitting up, you reach back, pull your glutes back so that your pelvis is almost rocking forward. Okay, so we're going to take opposite hand, reach above that knee, twist just a little bit. And this should feel nice on the shoulders as well. You definitely want to make sure you stretch the whole body. I, myself, even being a yoga instructor for over 10 years, I always favor stretching my lower body because I have more flexibility. My shoulders are definitely more comfortable to stretch, but that's really where we should be stretching more than right. So you can flow this, inhale, flat back, exhale, fold. And then just settle into it. Drop the head and reach for the feet if it feels good. If you're nowhere near your feet here, you can also use a strap to help. So you could be more upright with a belt or a strap. You don't want to be yanking on the foot, but just starting to try and get that stretch in. And over time, I promise you, stretches always get more comfortable, and you'll be amazed on how you can progress. Let's inhale back up. So we're going to take that same arm as a straight leg. This time we're reaching over the side and flowing it. Inhale up, exhale down. One more time, inhale up, exhale down and hold. You can reach down for that foot if it feels good. Once you're down too, you really want to open, twist your heart to the side so that way it's more a side bend instead of going forward fold. Go ahead and inhale back up. We're going to start to incorporate the upper body. So you have two options here. You could have the bottom leg either straight, or you can have it bent. You're going to take that top leg, cross it over. Okay, so here, make sure your weight is balanced right to left, and then you're going to reach up and over and twist, okay? So you have your right leg out, the left leg is going over, and then your right arm is going to twist across the body. So you're hooking that elbow into the knee. And then the key here is if you sit up nice and tall and you twist your head, your spine is going to follow. So it's kind of like you're wringing your spine out. You're getting a good stretch on that shoulder of whichever arm you have hooked into that knee. And then just use the back arm for support to hold. This is great for the hips, the glutes, but also too just the spine to get the twisting motion and also stretch the shoulder. Let's go ahead and slowly release it, and you're just going to switch sides. So it's totally fine too. It's just personal preference on that bottom leg of if you have it straight or bent. So once you're settled, go ahead and lift that arm up, hook it into the knee, and then twist. Turn your gaze. Since we're starting into the hips now, we're going to go to a fire log stretch next. So the key here is you always want to keep your foot flexed so that you protect your knee. If your foot is flexed and your knee cannot be out of alignment. This is called fire log because you are stacking your legs. Totally fine if you are up here, okay? Be up here for a little bit, and then over time, gravity is gonna help you pull it down. If you already feel comfortable and your hips are open, and you have your fire log stacked, you can always lean forward. If you want a little bit more and you want to add the upper body in, look at the top leg. Whichever knee you have on top, go opposite arm of that. You're going palm out, and you're just going to twist with it. And this adds in a nice side body stretch and upper body stretch. Let's go ahead and stack our legs the other direction. And remember, one side can be so different than the other side. For me personally, I got in this really bad habit of I would drive like this. Don't know why, probably was doing it for many, many years. So my hip was so tight on one side because I was always shortening it on the left as my right was lengthening out as I was driving. So I had to do so much stretching to correct that imbalance. So if you have an imbalance like that, if you want to go ahead and add that arm in, you can. What you want to do is, if you're holding a stretch on your side that's more loose, hold it for only a couple seconds, and then check in with the other side and hold it for a good minute or two, and help bring your body into balance, to then you can stretch both sides evenly. We're gonna come back up and come into a butterfly. So your soles of your feet are gonna come on the ground, your knees are gonna come out to the side. Some people like to do their meditation practice here, their breathing exercise too. If your knees are up here, that's totally fine as well. Again, if your hips are open, the knees are dropping down, you can always lean forward with it, and you can even completely relax down if you'd like. And slowly come back up. Continuing into the hips, we're gonna get into the hip flexors. So if your knees are tender here, you're gonna wanna make sure you have a blanket or something under your knee, because you're gonna have that back knee on the ground, okay? So one leg forward, back knee down. Then you can start up here, but what we're going to do is we're shifting forward, okay? So use your hands and find that spot where whatever length you need your heel and knee apart from each other. And you can rock some. You could exhale, straighten the leg, inhale down, or you could even switch the breath. Inhale up, exhale down. As far as the breath goes, you always want to exhale on the harder movement. So if you feel your hip flexors are tighter, exhale there. If you feel your hamstrings are tighter, exhale there. All right, so you can stay here if this is feeling good. You can also play with dropping that knee out to the side, which is going to get in the hip. Probably feel pretty good. Or if you want an even more advanced option, drop the arm down and twist. We're going to get it even more wild. Bend that back knee, grab onto the foot. That's going to add in the quad. So if you're really tight there, you always want to go slow because you don't want to end up giving yourself Charlie horse, cramp up, and get tight. Let's go ahead and switch sides. And really, all these cool yoga poses that seem advanced and fancy, that's not what it's about. It's about the most advanced pose is actually listening to your body and what it needs. Go ahead and just rock back and forth. Choose which is harder and when you want to exhale or inhale. You can hold it down. You can add in that twist, let the knee out to the side if it feels good. You can also always use a strap to grab back for your foot if you can't reach it and you want to try it out. Slowly come to a child's pose. So you're going to let your knees go out so that your body fits in between your knees. Slowly walk your hands out. Drop the head. You're going to hold your child's pose as long as it feels good. And then we're going to shift deeper into the hips. The child's pose helps us get into it, and then we're going to come into a low squat Malasana. So you have your heels down, toes down, knees wide like in your butterfly, and you're using your arms. You can push on your knees out a little bit. You don't want to be jamming them, nice and gentle. Try and keep the spine up. If you are here and you can't bring your heels down, that's okay. Over time, if you stay here and work through it and let gravity help you, you can be here. This is amazing for the hips, and especially for females, and something I do every single day. I've had 6 knee surgeries, and this helps my joints stay healthy so much. You can do it in the grocery store, the forest, or only in your house where you feel comfortable. But I promise it can be uncomfortable in the beginning, but so good for your body. I don't know if you've ever heard, you can tell the health of someone by how easily it is for them to sit on the ground, and not only sit on the ground, but get down and back up. And this Malasana is one of the number 1 poses that can help that. So you're gonna go ahead and have a seat, and we're gonna transition to upper body. So if you have a yoga strap, this is a great tool, or just a belt, a scarf, anything that is like a line and stable will work, okay? So just stretch our triceps and our back all at the same time. We're gonna use this tool. So my strap is going over my right shoulder, and then my right hand is going behind, my left arm is meeting in the back. This is a great tool to look at right and left balance, which I will completely admit my right side is so much tighter than my left. So I'm here on my right, and you can kind of measure it out, then go to the other side and try it out. And my right is so tight. Look at that difference. So to help correct this, I need to hold this on this side for a lot longer to work on balancing that side out. This is one of the most effective upper body stretches that if you can only choose one upper body stretch a day, just do this. I've challenged myself to set a timer and hold this for 10 minutes on one side, and by the end, it's not comfortable, but it really helps, and I clearly need to do it more. I don't lift weights or anything, but I do work in a farm a lot, and clearly I favor my right arm and its strength. So try this one out on both sides, and that top arm, you really want to be pulling it back as if you're doing a tricep extension stretch like this, okay? So once you feel even on both sides, and if you're really tight there like I am, I encourage you to set a timer for a minute and challenge yourself to work through it, because then it gives you something visual, to challenge yourself and be able to count it down and stay and work through the discomfort, okay? So great stretch for your wrists is to put your palm out, and you're gonna push down on it. This too you might feel in your arm as well. So you can go ahead and try both sides. Say your wrists are really sore from like working on computer, keyboard and stuff, you can then put it on the ground. Just be really gentle with how hard you push on it, and warm them up first. So we're going to come back to our child's pose now that we're focusing more on our shoulders and upper body, which down dog is a great one too, to work on the back and open the shoulders and everything. So you could always go through a down dog first. We can lift up into our down dog. I like to exhale, really push my chest back towards my thighs, and a lot of times I can pop my own back doing so. Then you're going to drop to your knees, come into your child's pose. We're going to walk both hands over to the right. Really push into that left arm, and you can kind of roll with it a little bit. This should feel good on your shoulder. Come back to the center. This time you're going to drop your elbows. Bring your hands behind the neck. Try and let the chest drop towards the ground. Come back up. Reach both arms over to the left side of the body, and then really work into that right arm, rolling back and forth. to center one more time. Drop the elbows. Release the hands and slowly come back up. So the whole point of all these asanas, that's what yoga stretches are called, is to actually prepare your body for meditation. Because now it probably feels a lot more comfortable to find a comfortable seat and be here for 5-10 minutes than it does when your muscles are tight and cold. For your meditation practice, what I always suggest for beginners is to set a timer for 5 minutes. Start with 5 minutes, try and build up to 10 minutes, and then 15 minutes and 20 minutes. A lot of times people don't think meditation is going to make a difference in their day or how they feel, but it really can, and it's amazing how it helps all your ideas come together more efficiently. And you might be stuck on a project, and then you go into your meditation practice and the answer just comes to you. So you're going to find a comfortable seat. You don't want to meditate on your back because you're going to fall asleep. Okay, so you're going to sit up. Use your blanket, use your props. It's better if you don't sit on a comfy couch, maybe a hard kitchen chair if you need some support other than the ground. So then switch up which leg you naturally always have on top. You can have your hands out to the side, you can have your hands over your feet, whatever is comfortable for you. So you set your timer, you find your comfortable seat, you close your eyes, and all you're going to do is count your breath as you inhale and exhale. You're only going to count to 10, and then you're going to start over again. It's totally fine if you are at 75 and you've been thinking 100 different thoughts. Just catching yourself and starting back at 1 is the whole goal in it. It's not to make it 10 minutes with only counting 1 to 10. It's catching yourself when you're drifting off. So to breathe and count your breaths, you're inhaling 1, exhaling 2, inhale 3, exhale 4, inhale 5, exhale 6, inhale 7, exhale 8, inhale 9, exhale 10. And then you're starting again. So you're inhaling and exhaling through your nose, and as you're doing that, count in your head. You don't want to be saying it out loud, just count in your head. And when you're at 30 or 130 or 230, kind of laugh at yourself if you'd like to, or just start back at 1. And it's amazing how doing this daily, you'll start to just know when your meditation is over and you're like, my timer's about to go off, and then it'll go off. So this really helps our minds feeling more inner peace, more at ease when we have a lot of different things that we need to get done. I know it can seem hard to take away from that time and think, oh, if I use 5 minutes on meditation, it's 5 minutes I could be working on something else. But it really helps our thoughts come together better, and then we're more efficient, and that 5 minutes is okay to spend on the meditation. Something fun you can explore with your kids is Acro Yoga. This is something you want to make sure your hamstrings are ready for, and it's always good to start off with a spotter. So you're going to hold their hands, have your feet on their hips, and then you can start to try fun things like sitting. You can also just have someone lift them up there on your feet and have them sit. Acro Yoga brings some good laughs and keeps you flexible.